pull it back, it
It's
just be weird.
pretty.
We
Thank
live
you.
right now.
Yeah, so I just this is why you need good people around you to remind you ain't nothing wrong with you.
Nothing
Ain't nothing
wrong
wrong
with
with you
You
at
just as
all.
beautiful, you is smart, you is
You is
kind,
kind.
all
Come
of
on
that.
with it.
And
Come
you
on.
is
Come on.
important.
You is
you.
important.
You is important.
You is important.
She is. We live right now, y'all.
What's up,
Oh,
y'all?
that's what's up. What's happening?
All right, what's
Yeah.
up?
What's
Yeah,
happening?
we in
We
like
back at
film,
it.
baby.
Man,
Back
let
at
me,
it
let me get
again.
these love languages up because I had to put y'all in order. I need to put y'all on like a bulletin board, like
Like a
connecting
You
bulletin
can
dots.
send
board.
them to me so we
Like
have
you
them
know what I'm
all.
saying? I got you. Let me see. I got so many notes.
All
I
right.
ain't about to feel like I watch my Saints. My Saints getting ready to play, man. I got to go watch my Saints.
What time they playing, bro?
I think it's like 6:40.
Okay, we'll be done by then. Don't even
Oh
worry.
yeah,
Oh
I
yeah,
ain't
for sure.
tripping. I ain't tripping.
You gonna
For sure.
multitask?
We'll be done by then.
I ain't tripping at all. What book did I put it in? My Saints getting ready to play, man. I gotta go watch my Saints. What time they playing? I think it's like 6:40. Don't you know I can hear you?
Done by then. Don't even
Oh
worry.
yeah, I ain't tripping.
I can hear us too.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was me.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I'm like, hold on.
Yeah. I had to
Race,
put
you got us tagged and the page is open for comments. You know how StreamYard be trying to play us, but
Oh yeah,
if it's
we
public or
good. Yeah,
not.
yeah, we
Y'all gotta
good.
put me on.
We
All
good.
Shout
Okay.
out to
Just
everybody
edited it.
watching. Thank y'all for coming in.
Yes.
Please share this.
Yeah.
Please share the energy, share the wealth, tag somebody, tag a couple people. If you ain't got no coach, then this is for you. You know what I'm saying? You
Man,
can borrow us every time we come on live. You know what I'm saying? It's for the free. You know what I'm
For
saying? You
the
get the
free.
5-finger discount. You know what I'm
Oh,
saying?
so free.
You know what I'm saying? And if you want a
see?
little bit more, you really want to get some things going, then yeah, go on and deep dive with one of us. And that's all we're gonna say about that. You know what I'm saying? But right now we just gonna pass this free game and
Yeah.
y'all participate, give us some game too. Give us some feedback.
Yep.
Man,
If
I'm
you got
highly upset.
questions, please feel free to put them in the comment section, and we'll definitely try to address them.
I'm highly
I
upset.
edited the privacy, so feel free to share it. You can comment, all of that good stuff. So last week, we talked about the 5 love languages, and all of us gave our 5 love languages, right?
I might have to run that back because I'm mad. I wrote them down and I can't even find them. I got too many
Oh, you did?
notepads, man. I
Go ahead
did,
and
bro.
recap them then.
Yeah. So we can recap what our 5 love languages are individually.
Mm-hmm.
And then let's go into each individual love language.
Facts.
So
I like
starting,
that.
so I guess Coach Keisha, you want to go give yours? Okay. All right. I got mine already, so I can go ahead and do mine right now. So mine is
Write
number
mine down.
1, physical touch. Number 2, acts of service. Number 3, words of affirmation. Number 4, quality time. And number 5 is receiving.
You know what 5
gifts.
is?
Yeah. Right. So, all right. Who next? Playbook. Let's go to the playbook. What's in the playbook?
All right, so I guess I'll go. Mine is hey, oh man, you know what?
Oh man.
I don't want to make sure I missed the order. Oh, matter of fact, I got it right here.
You got it? Okay.
Got it right here. Okay, so mine is first words of affirmation. Number 2 is physical touch.
Mm-hmm.
Number 3 is quality time.
Okay.
4 is acts of service, and 5 is receiving gifts.
All right. Sweet.
Write that down.
And mine is physical touch, affirmation, quality time, acts of service, and gifts.
Okay.
Trying to share.
No, okay. So mine's is acts of service.
Okay.
Quality time.
QT.
I'll put physical touch up there. Words of affirmation and gifts last.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody.
Okay. Gifts is last for all.
I don't want no gift. Don't be giving me nothing.
I want some gifts, all right, but it ain't nothing you can
It's
Hey,
nothing that you can't get
Hey,
yourself.
can't give me that. Can't give me that.
It's a whole lot of gifts. Water can be ice. It can be vapor. It
Like
can
Oh
be
man.
liquid.
I like the gifts. I like the gifts. Different kind of gifts, y'all. Different kind.
All right. All
Every
right.
kind.
Different
Every
kind of
kind.
gifts. So
Funny.
let's see here. Let's tackle quality of time.
I like that.
What y'all think about that?
I think quality time, if I'm not mistaken, is like everybody third, if I'm not mistaken. Am I? No. AJ's
Mine's
on
the
the second. Yours was second. Mine was third.
Mine was 4.
Yours was 4. So like so all of ours is in the middle. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
All of
yeah,
ours
yeah,
is
yeah.
in the middle. So I think that'll be a good QT is a good one.
So a lot of our love languages started as a kid. So I'll talk about mine. Like when I was a kid, man, I used to always like to be up underneath my mom or my grandpa. You know what I'm saying? Everywhere my granddaddy went, man, I was with him. And it was just I loved spending that time with him, man. And then I remember when I was sick and stuff like that, I would always be like clingy to my mom. And as I grew up, I don't think I really got that much as far as the quality time. My mom was working, she was doing all kind of stuff, man, and then school. So I kind of felt neglected in a sense too, because I felt like my brother was getting some of the attention and stuff. So again, moving into high school or middle school, high school, quality time, all of our time was spent at church.
I know what that's like.
Most of our time was spent at church. So there wasn't really the time for bonding. Wasn't really that much time for that. And so I guess as I grew older, it became a point where I wasn't really concerned about it because I didn't get it. And that's what happens sometimes. So you get into adulthood, quality time wasn't there. I found myself when I got in the Navy, I was away from my daughter's mother for about a year, at least for like a year. She was here, year and a half or so, and I was in San Diego. So I had to make another adjustment for quality time. There was no quality time, so I got used to that. Over the course of time. And then being in the Navy, we're out for a week's time, a month, 6 months, without our significant others and the people that we care about. So again, it's like compound interest as far as the quality time. And so I just got used to like just being me, even though I do value quality time, but it was like the back burner. So fast forward till now, I think that if I get into a healthier relationship, I think that quality time may go back up to maybe 2 or 1. All right. So that's me. All right. So who wants to go next?
I'll tap in. For me, quality time is important, especially when it comes to how it is in today's society. We get so caught up in our phones, people coming in, trying to distract us. We have a lot going on in our jobs and different things like that. And so quality time to me for at one point was almost difficult because you have to know how to when that's the other person's love language, you have to learn to set that stuff down. So it's cutting off the TV or putting the phones down and just giving that one-on-one attention, and that's something that's not as easy in today's time. And so for me, it is important to, if you set a date, stick to that date. If you say you're going to do something, do it at that time, because our lives get so busy, things get in the way, and it's so much easier to set aside, something that cannot be as important for you than something that you have to get done right away. And so I had to train myself to, if I set a schedule, I say I'm going to do something, we're going to go on this date, or we're going to spend some time together, leave your phone in the other room, turn the TV off, put it on do not disturb. Your job can wait, that agenda can wait, because this is the time that we have to set together to make that time important. And so quality time for me is my number two, because not only had I had to train myself to do it, but it's also important for someone to make that a priority for me. So that's how that became my no, it's my number three, because I know how my life is. But for quality time for me, it's right there in the middle, because with the way it is today, it's easy to make that be your last thing to do, because we get so caught up in everything else. So it can kind of slide under the radar.
That's good. That's
Yeah, that's
really
real
good.
good.
I definitely can relate to that. Because quality time, as I used to reference it before, it applied to me with someone else. So now, it's I look at the languages much differently when you had time to be single and you've kind of learned what you were attached to, or what eventually stop expecting because you didn't get it, or whatever the case might be. I'm just learning the value of quality time with myself, because that's something that I was obsessed with when I was with somebody. It was the obsession of being with somebody all the time. This is before, there was locations and you share your location with me. And there was none of that. I was attached to, just, it's a constant. I need to be with somebody. I can't, so I think the quality time for me now is even deeper, because regardless if I get back in a relationship, it's going to stay number two. It's going to stay number two for me, because not only for intimacy as far as the relationship or companionship, but also to remain intimate with myself. And I think my partner is going to have that same intimate time too, because I don't want anyone else to be attached to quality time just with me. Quality time is intimate time alone or in a concentrated space. And I think I'm learning deeper of like what it was. Because when I first learned about the love language, it was like, well, what do I want from somebody else? What's my love language with somebody else? And what do I like speaking? Because this is what I want. So as I'm learning, yep, quality time was on the top of my list, probably with words of affirmation, which is closer to the bottom now. But because I'm understanding intimate time and what it means, not just for myself, but with God, like with my creator, with the source of who is flowing through me and the energy in which I carry. So I'm understanding quality time and these love languages, period, as they apply to just me, nothing external to me. So if you take these languages and you apply each of them, because a lot of us say we want this and I wanted quality time, Royce, with other people, but I never spent quality time with myself. So it's like, no wonder you're so desperate to be with other people, because you don't give it to yourself.
Say that again. Oh my God.
Some people want gifts that they don't even give themselves gifts. They just don't want to buy their own stuff. It ain't got nothing to do with I like gifts. You just want stuff. So
you just don't want to buy your own stuff.
You know what I'm saying? I'm learning words of affirmation. I'm learning that these are things that I wouldn't do. So I wanted other people to do it for me. I wanted other people to tell me how beautiful I am, or other people to tell me, no, your voice sounds great. No, I need to be able to give my own self words of affirmation, because that's how you meditate. That's how you pray. That's how you power and charge yourself up. So I'm learning that these languages ain't just for your relationship outside of you. It's for the relationship within you, most importantly. So yeah, that's my spill.
Yes.
That's good, Coach.
Man, she been on fire all week.
Hey, I just got off a call with APOC just got off a call like not even 2 hours ago, and I'm like, yeah, I'm fired up right now, so I'm gonna just try to chill.
All right. So quality time for me, it's kind of like what Coach AJ was talking about. I've been pulling from her book all week, is getting the definitions of words, because like I said, words have meaning. And I looked up quality time, and quality was saying it's a distinct attribute. Like that's what she said. It's the character that you provide, not realizing it's something that you're providing. So quality time for me is, playing sports. Like I said, and Coach AJ can attest to this. Like, you want the time, but then because of what you do, sometimes take away that. So that's why it's in the middle. And like my whole life has been that way. It was just like I needed to be with someone, or if I was going to be with someone, I needed to make sure they didn't require all my attention. Because it was like if they require all my attention, I wouldn't be able probably to operate at the highest level in what I'm doing because I'm trying to go somewhere. And what I've learned is quality time for me is not always like spending time. It's more about like we can be in the same room and doing two separate things. Like I was like, that's quality time with me because it's like
Big
I'm
facts.
doing, you know what I'm saying? Like I'm doing something, even though, you know, you probably watching a show I don't like, and I'm probably, you know, playing the game. Like the fact that we in the same room, I was like, that's quality time to me, not for everybody else. Like Keisha said, like she may want quality time where I need you to be focused on what I'm saying and listening and not just hearing. Like, you know, I need you to be put everything down, no phones, like, and that's fine for individual people, but for me it was one of those things that I learned that through the course of my life. Like that was something I was willing to say, hey, you know what, I don't need someone that works a 9 to 5 and then they just stuck at the house for the rest of the day with me. Like it was like, no, like I like to see someone improving, someone growing. And I've learned that quality time for me is to be able to ask those uncomfortable questions to really get to know someone or something or whoever. Because if not, if you don't spend that quality time in those moments, you never ask those questions. Like you'll end up dating somebody and be like, man, like I married this person and they don't even cook. Well, you didn't ask those questions. Now you didn't marry this person and not even realizing y'all didn't win out every time. Like y'all never had a time where, you know, because of whatever it was, because you probably was working, he was working, so nobody never cooked. Y'all just went out. So now that quality time was missed, and now you're trying to make it up from something that you never asked. Like you never asked those uncomfortable conversations to know a thing. And this is what I've learned too. Just because the quality time that someone can give you is good for that moment, like for that moment, sometimes may not be what you're going to get in the end. And what I'm saying is there could be a time where, let's say, for example, you may catch Coach AJ at a time where it's a down season, or it's, you know, where, as I say in basketball, like we have our off season. So you may catch me on the off season to where I got a lot of time to give you. We can have those things, and then not realizing when the season come, I'm not gonna have that time that I was giving you in the beginning. But you got so caught up with what I was giving you in the beginning, you thought that's how it was gonna be.
Mm-hmm.
And it doesn't always work that way, because you, like, we didn't talk about, hey, does your profession causes you to be like a roller coaster, or did I catch you at a time to where, you know, this is what it is. And some people, like I said, you have to realize if you need attention and you can't provide that, don't force it to be something that fits your quality time, knowing that you can't provide that, even though you may feel a connection, even though you probably, you know, want to be friends, whatever. Because if you can't provide it, in the long run, it's going to hurt you, and you're going to hurt yourself because you're trying to figure out like what am I doing wrong, and you're not realizing you can't provide that characteristic that that person needs at the core.
That's
Yeah,
good, man. That's
man,
good.
that's good. That's good, man.
But once
So
that comes from getting to know them, you know, in the beginning when you initially start dating and things like that, you'll find those out when you're discovering those love languages, and then you'll just either have to adjust, or y'all have that conversation saying, hey, right now is my downtime, so I can give you all this. But you know, when you're trying to build something, sacrifices will have to be made, you know. So at some point you may have
That's
to, you
true.
know, miss some sleep, or, you know, quality time
Well,
will
I'm
be
gonna
a
be
quick
honest.
lunch break, but at some point you'll have to do something.
Well, I'll be honest. I think, and this is just from a, you know, Ross can probably chime in from a man's perspective. Yes, you are right. It is in part of the dating, but it's the fact that we may be so intrigued and want to pursue to where we ain't even thinking about that. Like we, as much as, because we're enjoying the moment, we're enjoying the time that we have that we probably haven't had in a while. You know, like I probably haven't been talking to some, like, you know, if I've been raising kids, I haven't had an adult conversation with somebody that I'm connected with. So because I'm connected, I feel like, man, like we spend quality time and I enjoy that, not realizing, you know, I need to be asking probably more questions about, you know, what's going on. I'm just enjoying the connection and the time that we have. So it would need to come up, but it's just sometimes it's like I don't want to be rejected, so I'm gonna hold on to what we got, and hopefully, that'll keep her. I could be
Hey,
wrong. I mean,
and can I just say too, because this goes back to styles, personality styles, and attachments. Because at the end of the day, and this is just me speaking from coaching men and coaching women and cutting hair in the barbershop and being on the basketball court. You see how people got a date. I seen men's phones get blown up and they're at the gym, and it's because hard to believe some women just don't think you can be at the gym that long. And I've seen it. I've been questioned about are you at the gym still? Yes, I can be here for 3 hours. Like I could be. So when we talk about like the styles, just the same with the languages. We speak all of these languages, and it's an appropriate time. What I've learned about just my own experience when, like you said, in basketball season, I got this free time, so we may be tight for 2 weeks and we ain't separate, we inseparable, right? But when the season come, I'm thinking about basketball and conditioning, and I'm gonna pull back, meaning that the other person, that maybe that's your style, and now I got to realize that maybe I'm attached and you're not willing to let go. It's like now we're gonna speak Spanish a little bit because we in Mexico, we're not in France anymore. So since we over here, it's like you understanding that, look, in this time, it's not, and sometimes it's not people ain't in the mood. It's just like, I'm Coach AJ, I'm not Ashley right now. So I'm not gonna talk to you, I'm just not gonna, say all the right things to you. Right now it's about the game. So if either you want to do this or you don't. And then somebody gonna be like, well, you seem aggressive. No, this ain't got nothing to do with aggressive. It means that you need to understand languages and what you're attached to. You're attached to me being one way. I'm not one way all the time, anytime. So I'm never going to speak the same language. Just like when I go to church, Royce, my language could get real tight at church. And then when I'm at the gym, it could loosen up a little bit. Not saying that I'm like completely different, but my lingo is a little different. And when I'm going in to do a consultation, I'm very professional. I'm speaking intellectually. So it's about learning which language is appropriate, but I'm not attached because I speak all 5. So we gotta remember.
And that right there is just sensitivity to context. Sensitivity to context, meaning whatever environment you're in, you're going to have to adjust to that environment, right? So that environment, so you're playing basketball. So I need to adjust my love language during that specific time. That's sensitivity to context. I can't expect for my man or my woman to give me all my time when they're playing basketball.
Facts.
And their quality time, and this leads me to my first question, how important is the idea of quality time? The idea of quality time. And so
where it's at.
It's all about perception.
Yeah.
It's perception. It's layers to this thing. And we talked about, again, sensitivity to context. And we're talking about attachment style. We're talking about your resiliency, your emotional language. You know what I mean? Like, so there's layers to it. So for me, I'm thinking about the idea, or how important is the idea of quality time for me, is it's definitely crucial. And you look at dating stages, right? Dating stages. And they say this, what it took for you to get them is what it's going to take for you to keep them. But is that realistic? Is that really realistic? Because over the course of time, people grow, people develop, things change.
Yeah.
So that can be adjusted. So the idea of quality time needs to be communicated within the confines of the relationship at the level that you're at. And understanding, like, okay, my idea of quality time is this. Your idea of quality time is just communicating that early on. It's crucial. This is my idea of quality time, and this is your idea of quality, so that we're not getting the lines of communication blurred. It's like going this way, like we're completely missing each other.
Yep.
We don't want to do that, because I think that you're important, and because I think that you're important, I'm going to communicate these things ahead of time so that there is no minimum miscommunication in that.
Hey, Royce, but some people so worried about quality time that they skip over all that stuff. I just want to Netflix. What about them people? I don't want to talk. I just want to chill. Let's go to the park. Let's go on vacation. Fly me out. You know what I'm saying? It's this culture that it's this swipe left culture, this Tinder culture, and this. It really, people are skipping over. See, the people are skipping over authentic dating, and really dating is friendship. You don't even have to call it dating. If you befriend somebody first, instead of, try to do the other thing, trying to figure out what they like, whatever. You know what I'm saying? If you befriend people first, it's the best way to find out their language, like you said. But and even if you have time though, too, like you said, people are growing. So there's levels to this. You can't ever stop studying and checking in with yourself because yours change. Your perspective of it expands. It's supposed to. So, like you said, our perspectives, they grow. So we gotta not only have this conversation once, but we need to come back to it, because otherwise, like you said, you ain't gonna have no relationship. That's just gonna be that. If y'all on the two different pages for so long, it's gonna be a whole nother book in play soon.
Yeah. And what you were saying earlier, Coach AJ, is first identifying what quality time means to you as an individual, regardless of someone is in the picture or not. Because if you don't spend healthy quality time with you, how are you going to be able to do that same thing for someone else? It's just like emotions. If you don't understand your own emotions, how can you possibly relate and understand someone else's? It's virtually impossible, which is why, again, the communication thing. So first, understanding what quality time means to you and how you process it. How do you spend quality time with you? And then, okay, now we can add the other piece to it. And then starting off on a strictly friends level, and we skip that. We go from I just met you to you mine, I'm yours, and that's it.
We go from the inbox to the crib. It don't even look. Ain't even no the first in contact be at their house. That's how we got things twisted now. You know what I'm saying? It's an inbox.
Done met everybody in the family and everything. You know what I'm saying?
We're skipping all that. Next thing you know, people got pictures up and it's, king and queen shirts, matching shirts, and we don't even know our love languages. God bless y'all.
But
God bless us.
Yeah, that's and what I want to piggyback on what Ross was saying was I want to get deeper just with us four. Like, so I'm looking at our love languages on my paper. I'm just like, okay, all of our quality time is in the middle. And even how we operate with each other, because no one's quality time is number one, it makes it better for us to communicate when we communicate all the time. Like, you see what I'm saying? It's like, oh, okay. Like, I have an understanding if I hit Royce up and he don't hit me back instantly, because quality time ain't number one for neither one of us. So it's not like we are yearning for it, versus when your number one and number two is kind of up there. It's almost like, hey, this is the core need of something that I'm not expecting somebody else to do, but this is my core need that I know that my quality time. And you know them, you can see them, you can know those people that their quality time is like, they give you indications. Like, you got to pay attention to what people are doing when they say, hey, like when they ask you what you doing today, that's somebody who probably like being in your bubble. Like, they enjoy, like, hey, if I can find a way where I can, oh, you off at 3, okay, well, I want to see you at 2:30. Like, they give you they give you indications that I am a person, even though I may not speak it, I am I'm doing probably acts of service to get my quality time that I need, because that's my number one. They all, like I said, they all go hand in hand. So if you don't pay attention, like you said, we skip all that because, let's be honest, sometimes you got people that be like, hey, I want my physical act, and I enjoy words of affirmation. So you put both of them together, and I'm enjoying that, but we didn't skip quality time and gifts and all that stuff, because it's the fatuation of, like, man, we at that fatuation stage because we've been out of it for so long within ourselves. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's like, it's a different feeling when I'm working on my game by myself, and then the moment somebody want to play 21, bruh, I'm like, you about to get all this work. Like, like I might skip all the fundamentals because I just want to score a bucket. And when I score that bucket off of doing one or two moves, I'm like, bro, like I forget that I worked hard on myself first.
And here's one of the signs that someone may not quality time may not be at the top is when they can go like 4, 5, 6 hours without texting you, without calling you.
I'm one of them people.
That's when you know, like, okay, quality time. Or and let me say this: quality time with you may not be at their priority. It may be with somebody else.
That's a fact too.
Right.
So if someone can do that without saying, "Hey, what's going on? How you doing?" These are flags. These are indications. And so we have to be truly mindful of that. And again, trust your instincts. When people show you who they are, trust and believe that's who they showing you.
Yeah. So and that's good. That's good, bro. Because you can it can. I don't want to say it can be adjusted, just adapting.
To see it on the other foot.
Say that again, Coach. What you say?
Yeah, what you say? Go ahead, Keisha.
No, I was just saying that's good, especially when you know your love language and you're trying to figure out someone else's. It doesn't take much to hear what they're trying to say without asking them. So like you're saying, you can go so long without talking to them or something and pick right back up. That's because that's not your strong thing. But if they keep hitting you, that's a big inclination of that's what they need right now. And to try to balance that out can be difficult if that's not what you need,
Yeah, that's true. I mean, like I said, it's you just have to, because you can adapt to someone else's love language depending on what yours is by making, like you said, that sacrifice. Like if I know you need quality time and that's your number one and that's my number 3 or my number 4, like I do, like it's my number 4 because probably from a past experience or what what I've gone through in my life for it to be number 4. Yeah. So if it's number 1 for you, I'm not saying it can't like level up to yours. I'm saying you may be able to help me if you do it correctly and help me respond to your number 1. Like you may be able to say like, hey, like this is that. I'm like, okay, well, let me try something new because I'm used to being so far offish and not speaking. Like, let me do something different as far as like, okay, she like quality time. I'm not used to planning an outing. I'm not used to setting things up. I just want to just show up. That's so that can be, your sign of like, because your active service could be high to meet that quality time. So you may want to do stuff to meet that quality time to be like, man, I can adjust or adapt to her number 1, but not in a place to where it brings me out of my character. And I think that's what we get to. Like, none of the love languages will bring you out of your character when you offer them to someone else.
I don't know about that, Willie. I think my love language has got me out of character a couple times. So, it depends if you're attached. And if it's negative, I ain't gonna say negative. If you're vibrating low,
there you go.
And you have a quality time. Because remember, language is the vehicle for the need. So when I'm communicating through quality time, I'm expressing the need for something, right? And that need could be significance. I want to feel important. I want to feel loved, or it could be love and connection. Quality time makes me feel like I have a connection with somebody. It makes me feel a certain way, or I could feel like, what is it? There's several needs. I'm just saying, but this is just literally the vehicle. And this is why we have to teach each other how to love us and let them teach us how to love them, because that's quality time, like you said, Royce, you start to not expect it anymore. So it's not like you didn't want it, but I just stopped expecting it. So therefore, somebody's going to have to reintroduce me, Willie, like you said. You're going to have to stage the situation for me, and then don't expect me to respond the way you would, or don't even try to anticipate a response. That's another thing, because if that's your language, don't expect nobody to say speak the language of Spanish the way you do. They don't have the accent yet. So it's like we got these expectations too. So when you're teaching somebody how to communicate something, not getting frustrated because they don't really know it, they're not familiar. You don't know what their experience was. They could have either got touched too much and they don't want it. You know what I'm saying? Or they didn't get touched enough. and they want it, or they don't expect it anymore. So I think it's just about, that's why the conversation needs to be always remaining curious in conversation, meaning that even if I've been knowing you for 2 years, don't ever think you know people that well. No, you don't. You don't know people because they don't even remember everything that's happened to them to make them feel the way that they feel. And like you said, Willie, one day I could want quality time, and the next is like, I want words of affirmation. And next, I might want a gift. I know it's fifth, but I like wedding rings. I like diamonds. You know what I'm saying? I like, you know what I'm saying?
I like PhD.
It's not that I live and die off that, but of course, fly me out. You know what I'm saying? Of course, do that. Buy me some shoes. I'm not against it, but it's like, I'm open to any way that you're willing to authentically express love. But then I got to make sure that I'm not attached to the way I think I should receive love, or attached to the way I think I should give it. I need to be open to speaking all the languages, and not just speaking them, getting good at it. Learn how to write in all the languages too. Don't just learn how to talk. Learn how to write in the language. Learn how to dress in the culture of that language. You know what I'm saying? All of that. So don't just play with it. If you really want that relationship, like I know I do, Willie, I'm single right now and I'm speaking. Y'all gonna see me in a happy relationship.
You
it ain't gonna have to be on Facebook. I'm talking about, Royce, when you see me. You gonna see love all over us.
Oh, yeah. She gonna be glowing.
You know what I'm saying?
She gonna be glowing.
Because I did all the work.
She gonna be Bruce Leroy.
Oh yeah, I'm telling you.
Bruce Leroy glowing.
And see, and what you're saying, Coach Will and Coach Ash, you know, it goes to like our relationship to each individual love language, our relationship to quality time. And so I'll frame it like this. So we've all seen paths in the wilderness, and how, because so many people have walked that path, it's now an actual footpath where you see like the grass stop growing and everything, right? That's like with each love language, because we've gotten so used to certain things within that love language, it became a path. Does that make sense? And then in order for you to have a new path, you need to change it. And then once you have a certain amount of connections or experiences with the other, and then now it changes from that one where quality time was maybe number 4, maybe now quality time is number 3, because you change some things up, you change the experiences up. You've had an opportunity where you've allowed yourself to have a change in the relationship with that. I hope that makes sense.
No, you know what, bro? It does. And when you said that, this is what I thought of how love languages are set up for me. And I'm speaking for y'all, just for me. Each one of my love languages have a rating from 1 to 10, right? So not that they change, is like Coach AJ said, the vibration of it is just low. So like if my quality time for my 1 to scale is like 3. It's still going to stay at 3. It's just the scaling from 1 to 3 is going to move probably to like 8, but it's still my number 3 in my love language. Does that make sense? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like my words of affirmation is number 1. So right now, like the scale in that words of affirmation from 1 to 10 is like 9. Like, you know what I'm saying? And my acts of service, the scale from 1 to 10, even though it's my 4th, is like 2. So it's like it can adjust. So that's what I'm saying. It can adjust.
Let's talk about that, because what you're saying is, like we talked about, I think last week, I think Coach Royce gave an example of it being a car or something and having to fill it up with gas. And so when your love tanks are being depleted, how do you replenish those? How do you put those gas in there so none lack? We have our number 1 where that's our top of the list, but all of them are important. It's not like one is more important than the other one. Right. So when we're lacking gas or stamina in one of those, it has to be replenished. First, we'll start with ourselves, because no one can do what we can do for ourselves. Anyhow, we got to do it for ourselves first. But then how do you get those, the other person to fill that tank up? Because we can only do it for ourselves for so long before we need someone else to fill that up, So
I'm glad you asked that.
Come on, help me, Coach.
I'm glad you asked that. You put yourself around people like this right here.
Environment is everything.
You put yourself around people like this right here because each and every
That's it.
last one of you fulfill my bar that's in it to go higher. Period. Because I did it myself. But if I don't have true people of friends of character of what I see in my circle, then because now if I go out and just if I take what I got and I done practice on myself and then just took it out, it won't be much of effective because they're not going to give me the real. They're not going to say, hey, this, you said this, or no, we'll look at it this, because they're not where I need them to be. Like I said, that's why I wrote down and took, as we say, live life intentional. I intentionally wrote this down because now I'm seeing, like, man, Royce is number one. I know he is. Okay, so let me find out if I'm gonna be an encouragement person. Let me find out when Keisha's acts of service ain't running so high. Like, let me help her because of things that have transpired in life to say, hey, acts of service, she really ain't vibrating high on that. So let me, as a friend, let me say, hey, let's talk about this. Let's see how we can get from, I see on your scale is at 3. Let's try to put it at 7, because you may meet somebody that is on 7 and you ain't been doing it or been able to talk about it and feel comfortable enough to even invite them into it. So if I didn't have this circle, I'm telling you, mine wouldn't be going as far as it would, because at any moment I can say, hey, I'm going through something, what I did wrong, or hey, I feel like crying right now. I know you're not gonna make me, I feel like being very vulnerable and I need some quality time for you to just tell me how it is. So that's why it's very important, because like I said, at the end of the day, I didn't choose any of y'all to be in my circle. I didn't. So if I didn't choose you to be in my circle, which means if I did choose you, I would have chose all the wrong people that wouldn't help me vibrate where I need to be and where I need to go. Like I was telling Coach AJ, like this, I manifested this years ago when I first seen her speak. I was like, man, she dope. Like, and then Royce was like, hey, we started this group, and then all of a sudden I pull her up and I'm like, what the crap? Like, what's the odds of that? It's not a coincidence. It's like they said, God put blessings in his mystery that we don't even know about. That's the blessing of it. So it's the comforting when you say what you got to do outside of working on yourself is get those people that the thing about it is I'm okay with y'all chewing me out. I'm okay with saying, hey, like maybe all of our gifts are last. Like in my mind, I'm trying to come up like, hey, how can as a friend, how can I get like, you know what? Everybody right now, I'm sending each and last one of y'all a gift from Amazon. Look for it. That's what I'm saying? Like, it ain't the fact that I need something from y'all, but the fact that I should be able to do that without saying, hey, y'all got to send me something back. I ain't looking for
gifts
something
will
back.
make room for you. We just said
That's
that
it.
gift was last. And look, Royce, look at Coach Willie talking about. This is when you don't expect it. This is what happens. I think this is just a result of you doing the work, like you said. I don't think there's any other way to get into or to manifest the things that you want to without getting a grip and understanding, because the love language is a part of you knowing yourself. At the end of the day, whatever your communication issue may be with somebody else has to do with your perspective. Like Royce just said, everybody got their own meaning to every single word. When you hear Trump, you hear 2 different opinions. When you hear Biden, 2 different opinions. When you hear Republican, Democrat, government, God, religion, spirituality, everybody got their own mom, dad, everybody got their own definition now. And it's like, we need to understand and come to an agreement, have a conversation. So we're clear on, okay, this is what it means to you. And I can respect that. It's not wrong for you to express yourself that way, like you said. And it's not wrong for me to express myself, but we know when we're overusing our gifts and when we're underusing them, like you said. So the person that's given has to know when I'm like my kids. I just went off. I had to take my daughter's phone. God bless her. But I was like, you know what? This is making me mean. I said, this is making me mean. I had to assess myself because it's like, why are you so short? I had to just say, I am getting walked over by my own kids. And I had to explain to them, I am a human being before I was your mom. I'm a person. I have feelings. I only have so much gas in the tank. And I had to explain to them, like, I'm pouring my gifts out into the world, and at home, I don't feel appreciated. I don't care if you 13 and 10.
Oh, shit.
I want to
Listen,
be appreciated by a 10-year-old and a
she better not have a
13-year-old.
hot dog without the bun. I got my belt. I better
You know what
not
I'm
see a hot
saying?
dog without the
And
bun
I've
in
been
there.
on this new wave of not putting my hands on them. God bless everybody. And I was raised where people, you know, spare the rod, spoil the child, whatever.
Yeah.
Now I'm on some now. It's like I'm trying to coach you, and that's why I'm getting mean, because I'm doing things different. I want to just get you tight, but I'm learning that you can't just do that, and I'm shifting out of that language. I don't want to physically do anything to force anybody into a corner, but at the same time, like you said, how do I get my power back, Royce? How do I get my energy back? Is by assessing and saying, yep, you know what, instead of being mad at you because I told you to come here, you just ignore me. Just bring me your phone. Just bring me your phone, because you ain't in school anyway. You don't need it. I pay the bill. I just want you to understand that this stuff is a result of what I do. It's not just endowed on you. It costs me something for you to have this. So I want you to understand the language I'm trying to deliver this, but I'm not going to force the language on you. If you don't speak Spanish and you don't care about speaking Spanish, it don't make sense for me to try to keep speaking it. So, hey, just bring me that thing you got over there, and then I'm going to let you go on and do what you do. And I'm not going to be mad at you. So I think it's a constant assessing and getting yourself back in alignment with the people that can pour into you. Because if you're not assessing, you can't align. And if you can't align, then you ain't going to be in communion with the village that you need to, that's going to cultivate you. So it's so important. Communication is the source to your awareness. It's the only way.
And
ahead,
also,
Coach,
Coach, man, you got to think about it. You know, just like we have love languages, our kids have love languages too. And are we communicating in their love language? Because if we're not communicating in their love language, then they're going to look for someone else who's going to fill that love language that we're not giving them.
Facts.
And we all know this. Why? Because we've been raised by folks too, and we didn't get everything that we needed. Let's just be real. We didn't. And so now we are parents
number 5.
now. We're parents now. And so it's our job. It says, train a child up in the way that they should go, so when they're old, they won't depart from it. Right? They already have their personality. We help them in developing their character and life skills that they can take with them for the rest of their life, and continue to develop that. And so these love languages, so we have an order of precedence, right? And then we have the intensity in which we want each one. It's like a little knob where you turn it up and you turn it down. Say, right now I need my level or my intensity of quality time to be on 8. And then on another day, okay, it may dial down to about a 4, right?
That's
and
good.
So it's important that we know the situations that require us to maybe increase that intensity or to lower it. And that comes from self-awareness. And then also when you know the other person, okay, right now is a time where it's that time of the month. So I might need to increase the intensity of the quality time.
There you go, bro.
Even though
men have those time of the month too.
No, yeah,
men have those time of the month too.
Definitely.
We all have our clocks.
Y'all have that time of the week.
But we got to be sensitive in maintaining that state of awareness or curiosity for the other person. And that's about being human. That's about, again, relating to each other, man. So yeah. That's good stuff.
Good, Coach. That's good. That's good.
Hey, I don't know why I'm silly. Every time AJ keep talking about speaking Spanish, I always think about going into the restaurant, and they be like, "There's sweet and sour chicken," and I don't know what it is that makes you feel like when you change your accent, they still know what you're saying. Like, I feel like that's what we do sometimes. I feel like
I was trying not to do that. I was trying
to right. Like,
don't sit at my table.
Like, sweet and sour chicken. I'm like, sweet and sour chicken.
That table, Keisha, because they might spit in your food.
I'm like, can I get a sweet and sour chicken? Like, no, that ain't.
Hey, I find myself. I find I do that when I go to the Jamaican restaurant. You want to be potty, man. You want to be potty, right? and I'll start to. And I did that one time, right? And the lady was like, "Don't do that. Don't do that." She was like, "Don't do that. Don't you do that?" I was like, "Okay, I'll shut up then. Like, I'll take
That's
barbecue
because we
chicken,
adapt to
please,
our
ma'am,
environment.
and then I'll take
We
a beef
adapt to our
patty
environment.
with She's like, "Don't
Got
you do
real
that."
proper. Got real
Yeah.
proper.
Special.
I got real proper real quick. The food was good, so I'm not trying to mess it up. I ain't trying to mess it up. I was like, "My bad. I'm sorry. I'm sorry."
Facts.
That's
Can I have
fact.
a beef patty?
But
Beef
hey,
patty.
but like I said, I
Okay,
think
we got a tangent. My bad.
no, it was good, man. We needed that, man. I really think back to as we saying, like, do love languages change? My perspective has changed on it now. Just speaking with us, because I'm like,
Yeah, it's all changed.
So my love languages have not changed. It's just like I said, each one for me has a different value. Like I said, the knob has been turned down on some of them that probably need to be turned up, and that's only gonna come through, working on it and actually putting in the work to just do it.
It's levels to it.
It's levels. It's levels. So for me, I think mine would never change. It's just I have different levels in each one that sometimes I control manually. I'd be like, I'm turning that one. I ain't doing no acts of service. And I realize if I, someone that's valuable enough, I'd be like, you know what? She valuable enough. Let me turn that to 8 because I value the person that I'm doing it for. Because I'm gonna be honest, like, words of affirmation is my number one, but it's who it comes from.
Facts.
Like it's who
That's true.
Like any one of y'all can, like, I'm talking about, y'all can make me feel like I can run through this wall if y'all say just the slightest thing. Like if AJ say something and Keisha, man, y'all be like, man, what are you doing good? I'll be like, like, you know what I'm saying? Like if it's somebody I really ain't like connected with like that, they be like, you doing good. I'd be like,
well, thank you.
Like, what you want?
You just be like, thank you.
Yeah, like what you need?
And then,
but like somebody, you know what I'm saying? Like somebody, you know what I'm saying? Like Coach AJ was saying, like she was slapping people, not realizing, like, hey, you funny, and they be like, oh,
like, ooh, you
found that funny?
Hit me again.
Oh, yeah, like, don't tease me with a good time. You know what I'm saying? Like, but it's who it comes from.
Facts.
That will give you to turn that knob up. So, like I said, if it's somebody that's quality time that you really, you be like you didn't expect or even thought you even had a chance, you be like, I might turn my knob up. Like, you know what? I ain't turn my knob up. Let me.
But
now
you
turn
what?
it up.
So now you're being intentional. Now I think when people get your attention, like ET got my attention. So I thought I needed to be affirmed. And you do when you don't get it enough and you don't feel valuable. Sometimes you need Michael Jordan to tell you that you can hoop, or Kobe. That you need to be like, yo, you really do. You ain't gonna care from Joe Schmo. You know what I'm saying? A regular schmegular person. You gonna be like, yeah. Like, but when you hear, oh man, you got a gift, or you got this from somebody that, like you said, but then you learn too is. And just like hearing it from him, it's like you still got to believe that for yourself too. And so I can't be attached to just what they do, even though it's great because it serves its purpose. And that's what I think about. Either we can just like positive and negative. You need both sides of the battery. You need it to help you, but then you also don't need it to be the only thing that drives you either. So it's like the side of it that you can go to it. Yes, I would love for an ET to confirm me, or Oprah. But now I'm like, yo, nobody else has to. If Lakeisha says that, yo, your program worked for me, it changed my life, that's just as big as Oprah saying, yo, I heard your program changed lives. But I'm like, yo, Lakeisha told me first. Oprah saying it is great. Even ET saying it was great. But until a regular person I didn't know, that just like these people that are watching on the live, people that I've never met, and it's now I'm seeing like, yo, this love language, like you said, initially when you first start, you like, yeah, I do. Because like I said, we don't realize how much we lack certain things and just how many things that we haven't had access to. So you need it. But once you get it, it's like, yo, now I understand why I need it. And then why I don't need it in certain aspects. Like I don't need it for everything. I just got to start believing certain things for myself. So I think learning the love languages for yourself, you can never go wrong because it's going to teach you both sides. Just like you needing to be pushed by somebody, eventually that's going to lead to you being the one that's pushing, right? So it's like there's both sides to it. You needed to be pushed. Now you're the one pushing. Just like I needed a coach, Royce. I needed a deep dive. You did my first deep dive. And now look what I do for a living. That's all I do is deep dive, folks.
Yeah.
So it's a blessing how you can not think you things that work for you, whatever, and you find out, yo, this is something I can apply not only just the languages to my own life, but outside of me too. And it got to start within you. So I think just learning these and really and I was gonna give people an assignment real quick. And this goes for the coaches too. So I said this. This week, because you said there's levels to this, so I'm like, okay, I'm gonna give everybody an assignment. If you see this #replay, shout out. If you see this all the way to the end, you want us to deep dive, we might work something out for you. But this is an assignment for the week. So you gotta pay attention and do something specific in each one of these languages. You got to do it. It don't matter if it's a stranger or it could be somebody you know. You got to be intentional about seeing how good you are recognizing the language or even giving it. So just like Willie just said, he was about to give us Amazon. We'll see if he do that or not. We're gonna hold you to it. You know what I'm saying? I don't care.
I need addresses. I need all that. It's about to go down.
Already sent my address.
So, you know what I'm saying? Like I heard they got digital ones too. So you know what I'm saying? Do what you got to do. But no, for real though, for real. Everybody pay attention to the love language this week and which ones you operate in if you recognize it, and then which ones you catch in other people. I think that need to be something we're intentional about this week.
That's when you know she big time. She got
you know what I'm saying? And we're back. Yeah, that's what I got, Coach.
I think that's definitely real good right
Call
there.
to action.
As it should be. As it should be. I was gonna say something else, but I totally forgot about it, y'all.
That's good. That's good.
We hitting 1 hour right now. So
thanks.
Yes. So today we talked about quality time and we broke that joker down. Again, it's all about, your relationship to it. It's all about how the idea of quality time or each love language appeals to you. It's also about, the intensity for which you want to receive that love language. And make sure you catch that. The intensity is different. So you have them in order of precedence of importance or value to you, but also the intensity in which you want or you think you require that. And then you want to question, why am I requiring this much quality time?
And be honest with yourself when you answer that question. Not your expectation of quality time. Like knowing, like she's like Coach AJ said, we don't sometimes give ourselves the quality time, but yet we asking for somebody to give us the intensity of 9, but you only give yourself 2. Like that ain't being realistic.
Yeah. Again, question why you are wanting this level of quality time from this person. Is this something that you should be giving yourself, and that you're putting some type of unrealistic expectation on the other person?
That's real, bro.
And when you dive deeper into why your love languages are your love languages, you'll begin to discover more about yourself than you even thought. Like we were speaking of before, what happened in our childhood? What happened that makes this my number 5, or what makes this my number 1? What am I lacking? It's almost in the sense of when you think you're hungry and you're like, dang, I just ate, but I'm still hungry. But in reality, you really were thirsty and you just needed a cup of water and you would have been satisfied.
Wait a minute.
So it's the same thing when you're discovering your love languages. Look, write that down. No,
I'm gonna go on mute.
Write that down.
Right.
So that was
It's
good.
the same thing when we're discovering our love languages and why we need those that way. And so as we going throughout the week doing those things, I want to encourage you, everybody, to see why that's your love language and why that's your 1 through 4.
Let's go. Let's go.
That's facts right there. That's real good.
Real good. Like, cause like you said, you just never know. I said my physical touch. No. I just had to be real with myself. Like I like I said, I'm blunt, man. I knew my physical touch was up there only because the time that I spent with myself wasn't really the time that I was really spending with myself.
See, we can't go to that right now. That's that.
Okay,
We're gonna do that next week.
All right, next week.
Hey.
Before we log out, though,
Next
we
week.
do have
Physical
one
touch
question
next
that
week.
just popped out, coaches.
Yeah, I just seen that. Is that from Angelia?
Angelia, yep.
What
She
she
said,
say?
so one question before we can get out of here. It says, so if you are not receiving your love language from your significant other, does that mean he or she may not be the person for you?
I
Who want
was
to take
just
that?
about to say
We can all chime
does
in.
not
Yeah.
mean that they're not. It
Absolutely
does not
not.
mean it's just like saying that this person can't speak. They can't
Speak
speak Espanol, then that means that they can't speak at all. It's not the case. It doesn't mean that they not the right person. It means that one, you either need to embrace the fact that that's not a language that they speak yet,
Turn it up.
and turn yours down. And
Yeah.
let them turn theirs up. And this is where I say this is where it comes to attachment, because people literally, and it's all of us, we are very conditional lovers. We are very conditional people. So that means if I'm willing to say, oh, you don't match, or you don't have a job, you don't have this, or you don't have this, that ain't got nothing to do if that's the right person for you. If they challenge you, that doesn't mean that they're not the right person for you. It means that means you're going to be challenged. That's just what it means. So I think losing the attachment to any of the languages and starting to love and respect them all is the best approach, because if you get attached to one or the other, you're going to limit yourself in a lot of relationships because you're stuck to one or the other. Just like you can't, some people in Dubai, they speak 5 languages because you know what? They're going to come in contact with people that speak 5 languages. So it just makes sense. So if you meet the person, you're able to speak in all the languages, and it doesn't upset you if they can't speak well in any of them. Because some people, they just speak okay in all of them. How about that? They just are okay. They running a 2 across all of them. What you gonna do if you come across that? It's a reason. So look beyond the language and find out why they speak the way they do, why they don't. And don't ever take it personal. It does not mean they're the right person. It means that they may not be the person for you in a relationship. Maybe that's a better friend for you. Maybe that's a better business partner. It don't mean significant relationship, but if it is a significant other, that means that you need to expand your language and allow them to enjoy their process of expanding their own. That's what we got to let people do. We got to let people, learn the language, and then we got to learn to let people learn it on their own.
Now, expanding don't mean force it.
No, don't force it. And
expanding does not mean force it.
Like don't get into the relationship because you see that there's a deficit. You see that this person is in need of something and you want to fulfill that need. Don't do that, because again, like if that person never changes, are you good with them as they are right now?
Stuck with 2s across the board.
Yeah.
Hey, and if they are speaking your language, they may change. So don't get attached. If you get attached, what do you think people do? They start speaking your language and they don't even speak it. They pretend, right?
Right.
Oh, we good actors.
Oh yeah.
So that's why you can't get attached to anything. You're supposed to learn them so you're not manipulated, because people don't manipulate other people. They manipulate themselves. And other people are just a byproduct of what they're good at with themselves. So if they lie to you, it's not personal. They lie to themselves every day, all the time. And you just another
a lie is a lie.
To.
A lie
I just learned that this week. I was like, oh, you are a good person, Ash. This person just lie to themselves all the time. So it ain't that they lying to you. It's just they lie to themselves. And it's like, don't take it personal. Don't take it personal when people don't reciprocate it. You just got to know when you're overusing and underusing. That's where your power is always going to be.
And it also depends on how long you been in that relationship. If you're just starting out, then you're gonna learn right off the bat each other's love language and what you're gonna do from that. But if it's something like you've been in a relationship for a very long time and you're just discovering what your love languages is, and that never been the communication that you had, then it's gonna be hard, because now I know what I like and you're not doing it. So it just shed light on something that you are just seeing that they never knew. So it just is gonna take time to know how to communicate that to each other, because the light is just being shown on it, because it's something you're just discovering. So you may see it now, but they may not see it until later. But at the same time, it's a process. And if you're willing to work that process out with patience, then it'll all work out in the end.
No doubt. Good.
And
good, coach.
All That's a good question. So I just want to say before I get off here, because I'm looking at y'all love languages, and I know y'all words ain't up there as high as mine. So I'm gonna take this time to say I love y'all.
Oh,
You love your brother Willie.
I love y'all.
Willie?
Really?
I can't make it through my week without Willie.
Hey,
Willie give me something every day. I'll be like, all right, let's go. Let's get it.
Come on, let's get this
That's
cup.
that encouragement doctor. Encouragement doctor.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll be having to get in trouble at work because he won't stop talking.
Man, look, be that way sometime. It's hard out here.
We got it.
Love
y'all. We'll
love
see
y'all.
next Sunday.
Y'all can catch us in the morning on Clubhouse, 6:00. Come get your like I said, come get your cup. I know probably y'all is about to be a crazy week. We got the inauguration and people already,
it's gonna be crazy good. You hear me? Come get this cup.
Yes.
Yep, come get this cup. Not a 2 liter, not no gallon. You just getting the cup.
It's gonna be hot.
It's gonna be yep. You can either get it hot or you can get it with ice. It don't matter. You can get it with
ice. You can get it with ice.
You gotta get it.
You're right. You just gotta get it. That's facts.
Get it.
And so next week, are we gonna do Clubhouse on Sunday?
Let's see if we can figure out how we can rope them too, because I seen.
Let's see what the people say.
Well, actually, no. We already talked about that.
Yeah,
we already talked about that.
Yeah, we're gonna try to rope because we want to be able to. We're gonna figure this out, flamingo turtle style. You know what I'm saying? We're gonna figure out how to put this system so we can just go on and tap dance all over this table. You know what I'm saying? Wherever we
because we want to have people be able to interact with us and be able to talk with us, and Clubhouse gives us that avenue, whereas Facebook doesn't, just a comment. So we're trying to see how we can have people interact with us.
Yeah.
Well, your boy, I know next week we're gonna work it out because your boy we're gonna be done with this fast. And I'm telling you, like Sunday,
push-ups coming, bro.
Hey, man, listen, see what happened was.
Hey, when he started talking about the push-ups, it's like,
you know what? They going good. I actually stepped my game up to where I'm doing incline push-ups now. So I'm doing like 75 in like one set.
Good.
So I started off with it's crazy. It's crazy.
Let's go.
Show you the before and after.
I gotta get back to that level.
Next week, man. We're gonna be back next week, and regardless, stay away from the news if you can this week. You know what I'm saying? Don't let them get in your spirit if you can. And they trying to prepare you for Lord knows what. Let's not be deceived. Let's read the book of you, like Pastor was saying this morning. Just read the book of you all week. You know what I'm saying? Just go on and fast from the media for the week. And pour into your soul. Look for things that empower you. And then, like you said, we're gonna be here every day this week. Prayer call with APOC Ministries. Get on that in the morning too. Fill yourself up any way you can. I promise you, because God is still real. And I promise you, this is still gonna be the best year ever. I promise you, it's still gonna be the best year ever. If we can get you to think and feel and believe, then it shall be manifested. Let's go, coaches. Love y'all. Let's get it.
Love y'all. See y'all in the morning.